workshop. Well, getting time for engine show season, I hope, if all this corona stuff goes away. But I'm going to start getting that camper ready. And I put a solar panel on when I first got the camper, 100 watt. And I got 2 deep cycle batteries up here on the tongue, because most of the time when we camp, it is someplace where we don't have a plug-in. So the solar panels will charge, of course, if the sun's out during the day, and then we can use it at night. Don't have to run the generator as much. Well, it works pretty well. So I decided to add a second panel, and that's what I'm going to try to do today. I already got started somewhat. I'll show you what we got up here on the roof. Okay, this is the panel that I have up here now. It's a 100 watt one, got it from Home Depot. I think they were 99 bucks, and I looked the other day and now they're 79 bucks. So I got another one. And when I put this on there, I left room for another one right there. So I've already got started on getting some of the mounts done for the panel. So I'll go show you that. So here's the new panel. And I've already made a couple of brackets right here, aluminum brackets, and I'm using stainless steel bolts, and that'll be on the end towards the tongue of the trailer. And the other end, I've made an aluminum bracket here, which is going to fasten to the other panel the same way it's fastened on here, just like that, because there's already a support on the other panel going down here, so this will just snug up close, and that way I don't have to try to get at the back side of the hardware on the existing one. I won't have to disturb anything that's already up there and sealed. So now I'm working on the wiring. They got connectors on them, and I determined the plus and the minus. And the open circuit voltage on this was 23 point something, just sitting here in the sun like this. So I think with my other one, when the battery was discharged some, it would charge almost 6 amps, I believe. So with the 2 of these, ought to max out around 12 amps. You know, when the sun's high and everything is just right. So that should give me a pretty good charge. So see you in a bit when I make some more progress. Okay, I got one of the wires extended, and I used it's a number 10 wire, and I used a crimp, and I tinned the wires and crimped it, and then I soldered it, and then I got 2 layers of heat shrink on it. And you want to use really nice fine stranded wire for solar stuff. It does make a difference. Here's the plus side tinned, ready to have the crimp and stuff put on it. So I'll get that one finished up. Okay, so it's decided to get windy, so I hope you'll be able to hear me. I've got the panel here on the roof. Got it in place, and I've got 1 screw in the middle hole on each side. They're not tight, they're just snug, so that I can move this a little bit until I'm sure where it's going to go. Next thing I'm going to do is pilot drill a hole for for the 1/4 inch lag that's going to go in there on each one of the brackets. And then I will apply some sealant. I'll lift that leg up just a little bit, put some sealant under it. And this is the stuff that I use. It's self-leveling, and it's made for RVs and rubber roofs. This one has a rubber roof, so you need to use the right stuff for whatever kind of roof you've got. And this stuff works really good. I was real happy with the results I got. I think it's identical to what was on this roof originally. So I'll go ahead and get those pilot holes drilled and get her cooped up. Okay, there's my pilot hole. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this sealant right where that is. And this all over on this side. Okay, that's what it looks like when it's bolted down. Now I'm going to take the caulking gun and I'm going to flood that all the way around. Okay, I got a nice layer all the way around both of them. And that'll continue to flow out and level out real nice. It really sticks too. So next I guess I'll go to work on getting some wires. Okay, hopefully you'll be able to hear me with this wind. Boy, it's pretty breezy. Should be done on the top side. Got the wires all hooked up, soldered, waterproofed, and I tied them on with the existing wires, which are gooped down with some of that goop. Boy, that stuff really holds. And I got it tied on that leg there with a tie. And make sure you use ones that are UV protected. And under here where these connectors are, I've put some of that self-leveling sealant, which will fasten them right down. Because when you're going down the road 65 miles an hour, that breeze is going to be wiggling these wires around. You sure don't want them to wear through your roof or break or, you know, cause problems. So you want to make sure your wires are not going to be able to move around. Okay, I got my batteries installed. This is the original camper wire. This is the wire that goes to my inverter, and this wire is to parallel the other battery. These are welding cables, number 2, and mounted right here on the wall on the other side of this is a inverter, and I'm thinking it's 1500 watts or maybe 2000. I'm not sure, don't remember. And there's a 200 amp fuse and the inverter mounted there. Okay, this is where I got my charge controller mounted, and I got a fuse back there from the solar panel, and the output of the charge controller goes to a voltmeter and an ammeter, and then it comes over here to the original camper fuse panel, and this fuse here is what ties the charge controller into the batteries. And I had a 10 amp fuse in there before, but now this thing is going to be making about 12 amps, so I upgraded it to a 15 amp, and I did the same back there. And there isn't any sun today, it's cloudy, and it's charging 2.55 amps, 12.7 volts. And this charge controller isn't very expensive, but it seems to work real well. And you can set the voltage that it charges up to, and then tapers off or shuts down. And this little blinking arrow here indicates that there's power going from the panel into the battery. And there's a couple USB ports here for charging things, which is nice for our phones and cameras and stuff. And there's a lot of these that look alike, but they're not, because I got one of the ones that wasn't so good the first time. And I found out that if they have the separate buttons here, instead of the ones that are kind of like made in the panel, that the guts in behind are much better. So my inverter I have so it runs all the outlets in the camper. And I have a switch I turn on, and I have a double pole double throw relay in behind here that when I turn that on, it switches the outlets from the plug-in side to the inverter side. And that way we can run all the outlets for the TV, and we can run fans and microwave, and of course the air conditioner and the refrigerator and stuff is not included in that, because that inverter isn't going to be running those items. And I have a small inverter, a 300 watt one that's mounted right beside the TV, and we use that to run the TV and stuff at night rather than running the big inverter. The big inverter has fans on it, and they're kind of noisy. The little inverter has a fan too, but it's real little and real quiet. And that way we can run electric fans, and wife runs her breathing machine at night too. So, and that is fed with a 30 amp fuse in this panel. So that's about it for this. I'm not going to put this panel back on, because when it comes time to completely unwinterize this, I got some water lines to hook up in there. So hopefully we're going to get to use this baby this year. This coronavirus stuff gets gone away. So I want to be ready to go when they say go. So if you like this one, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. See you next time. Okay, the sun finally came out the next day. I hadn't got this on yet, so 13.3 and 14 amps. Maybe I better rethink my 15 amp fuse. Maybe I better up it to a 20. There comes a cloud. Looks like she's gonna work okay.